everyone. I've got my, I've had my dose coffee and now I'm on to a nice cup of Starbucks. This is a pumpkin spice, totally off subject. Starbucks is our weekend coffee and we like Sumatra, that's a nice roast. But at the holidays, we go ahead and get whatever, a bag or so of whatever Starbucks is offering. And last year and this year they did I think it was last year, but this year they're doing pumpkin spice. And oh my goodness, I mean, you go and you can smell, it smells like a pumpkin pie. And so you get that before you even taste the coffee, which is good. I won't treat myself to coffee or teas or drinks out. I don't, that's a splurge I don't do. But I do like to have good coffee at home. And Folgers is our daily coffee, and then Starbucks is our weekend coffee. So, we are to week 40. Let's jump into it. And this is October the 6th. Yes, it is. And we're caught up until October the 5th, which was week 40. 40 weeks. We have 12 weeks left to make or break it. And for those of you who are new here, you're going, oh, why is she sitting there with all that food in front of her? I ask myself that too. Anyway, the idea is that we're taking 2,000 pounds away from the landfill. Just that simple. And what am I going to do with it? Well, these are all things that will break down quickly. Not over 1,000 years, but quickly. And they're going back into my garden, back into my soil in some form. So either they're going to go through, I raise worms, red wigglers mainly. I think some blue worms have gotten in there too. And I'm not prejudiced. I love the earthworms out in my garden. I think they're just some bad boys. They're beautiful. And but the red wigglers are my favorites at home. So this will go through the worms first, or if it's too heavy, then it just goes out into compost. And so I have learned how to make a simple compost, a cold compost really, just using grass clippings and shredded cardboard and shredded paper and different things that I would be throwing away. 2,000 pounds is the goal. However, learning how to not only recycle, but to use alternatives to going out and buying something new, either reusing it, like you'd use it once and, oh, well, I'm not going to throw that away, I'll use it again. You know, oh, I wiped my nose, I threw it away. Oh, you know, I wiped my nose twice, half the product. But also things like repurposing things, and that's about it. Anyway, some of the things that we do are fruit and vegetable peels. We have eggshells. I have shrimp shells that have chitin in it. Chitin is a little structural, skeletal forms. Even your bugs have chitin in them because they have a skeleton. My coffee grounds. Coffee grounds are a big thing for our house. We use about 8 ounces, just over 8 ounces a day. Of course, it's, you know, once it's plumped up with liquids. So that's a lot of coffee grounds. And we have our leaves, we have our papers, we have our shred, cardboard. Finally, Amazon is getting discerning. You know, they're cutting down on quite the size of boxes they use. I mean, geez, I was getting things that were a huge box for a little bottle of vitamins. I thought, why do you have 2 pounds of cardboard for a 4 ounce bottle of vitamins? They're getting better. Things that are harder, that they're realize that they're not going to. I can't see where I have it, but anyway, they're doing paper packages. They went from paper packages that had bubble wrap in them, then to paper on paper, brown paper on paper that had these little white, soft, pillowy dots on it. The worms can go through it, the compost can go through it, but don't put it through your paper shredder. And now they're even getting better, because now they're just doing like a 2-ply brown paper package. My More Vitamins came yesterday, and that's all that was in it. So that, yes, could go through the shredder, just like your paper or cardboard. So any of our fruit and vegetable peels. This is an avocado, by the way. I'm sure most of you know what that is. You want to call it a stone, you want to call it a seed, whatever you want to call it. Those are 3 avocado pits in front. And again, off subject, don't throw those away. If you take them and cut them up in 4 pieces, 8 pieces, and you put them in boiling water, they make a wonderful tea. The tea has vitamin B in it. It's very good for you. If you don't want to drink it, your plants would just love it. So I also have taken those seeds, because when they come out of the avocado, they're hard, in a sense, hard soft, but they're not really hard like they are after they've been dried. So if you take those and you were to grate them, I mean, it makes a wonderful, it's edible. So here we are, we're buying avocados. I don't know about anybody else, but our avocados are, the cheapest ones are like $1.25 a piece. That's a Hass avocado. Hang on, just one more. I'm getting a little tickle in my throat here. We went to Whole Foods, where they have everything organic, and the price of avocados was $3.99 for an avocado. I thought, $4, and that's the size of the seed. I mean, there's not a whole lot of avocado flesh in there. So use wisely, folks. The things that I'm saving again are my leaves, any branches that I could either chop up and break down, or we borrow a friend's chipper shredder for the bigger things. Flowers break down beautifully. I mean, they just go to, like, they and the leaves just make a beautiful mash. They become, instead of leaf mulch, they become like a leaf, almost a mold, and the next season you're just crumbling it like chocolate cake. Anyway, it's Sunday morning. I want something sweet. Anyway, we take our vacuum cleaner, and we use what we pick up in everything. If it doesn't go to the worms, it goes to the compost. Dryer lint. Most of our clothes, everything I have is cotton, and so the cotton fibers come off. They go to the worms. Anything that's stale, or anything that you're emptying out your cereal, and the kids have left the last cup or so, feed it to your worms, feed it to your compost. You can save things like the toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls, tissue paper, popsicle sticks, emery boards, any of that sort of thing is all going into my stuff, and it's all getting counted towards. So we are supposed to go on vacation next week. It looks like a hurricane is going to come through while we're gone, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a category 1. It looks like it could be a category 2 or 3. This is Milton. I want to call him Milton the Monster because I'm going to be very disappointed if I don't get to go on my vacation. You know, Rick gets to go on the ones that he picks and goes on, and I just sit and smile. And so this is my favorite place, and so I will be disappointed, but better to be disappointed and be able to make sure our house is taken care of than to come home to devastation. That said, again, it's week 40. I was pulling out every stop I could because I figured that possibly next week will be 0 as far as what I collect, because I wasn't planning on being here. So not only did we have good old Brian come, and he brought almost 30 pounds, but we did all of our own trimming and everything else, and it came up with 71 pounds, 6.6 ounces, and I did have 1,512 pounds and change, and so the total came up to 1,584 pounds, 15.1 ounces. So really about 416 pounds left for my last 12 weeks. Not sure again if next week is going to be a 0 week, but I was thinking of things like, you know, when you're cleaning out your drawers, at your filing drawers, these old manila envelopes, eventually, you know, you can write on one side, and then you can turn it around, and you can flip it around, and you write on the other side. Well, after a while, they do get kind of old. They can be recycled really nicely, and would go through your shredder, and if you wanted to, if you have a weed problem, take a couple of them, you know, lay them around your plants, and then lay your mulch, whether you do, you know, personally I do grass clippings, but if you have mulch like, you know, pine or, you know, eucalyptus, whatever your stuff is, you could put that on top of it. It acts as a great weed deterrent. One more thing, not only do we recycle, but I really do try to use less plastic. I realize that plastic is, you know, God's gift to humans, I think, and it's for us to use it wisely. And I mean, I see people go through this where they pull it off and it gets crumbled, and they just ball it up and throw it away. And so I try to use as little plastic wrap, you can see that's plastic wrap, as possible. I love the fact that they have these new things where they have, this is your cutter. Let me just, this is the little cutter that goes across. This particular brand is called Stretch Tight, and you just lay your plastic across, you know, pull it across your pot or bowl or wherever you are, and then just run it. Now this is 250 square feet, which is probably maybe 200 feet running, and it's maybe a little bit more than, I can't see what the actual dimensions are. I think I've cut that part off. Probably about 14 inches. You know, so a little more than 200 feet running. And I would guess the average family probably goes through, even 2 people, I bet they go through 2, 3 of these, at least 4 maybe a year. you know, the average people, they, you know, we didn't eat that, so we'll cover it in plastic wrap, put it in the refrigerator. I have one of these for, have been lessening it. I have one for at least a year. Some of my little tricks, not really tricks, but alternatives are, if I have stuff that has to go in the refrigerator, like I've used a half a jar of something or half a can of something, and I'm in a hurry, I'm cooking, and I don't want to have to put it in then another container and then, you know, with Rubbermaid or something and do it that way. I've saved little lids from other things that would have gotten thrown away, recycled, you know. Even the oatmeal container, I don't know how long this would last, even because it is cardboard of some sort, but it has this top to it. I'll take that and put it on top of my container and then just put the whole thing in the refrigerator. I've done it where the other night I made soup and I wanted to go ahead and I made it in the morning, and I thought, oh, let's see, I can pour it into something else and clean the bowl and clean, because I was sauteing different things to go, you know, mushrooms and sauteing potatoes and bacon and everything, and it was a cream of mushroom soup. And so I thought, oh, I know I'm going to be tired tonight. I know I have a lot to do. So what I did is I went ahead and divvied it up, put it in the 2 bowls. And then I have 2 larger of these, and I just put a top on one, laid the bowl on top of second bowl, put another one on top of it, and just put that in the refrigerator. Then when I took it out, I took those. I won't put plastic like this into the microwave, but I just very slowly microwaved it, you know, a minute at a time, and stir a minute at a time, just so it slowly heated without spattering about. The other thing is my friend Howie Jones, really cool guy. He calls everybody Earthlings, and he has a really cool channel. He's on Vancouver Island, and the name of his channel is Food Forest Permaculture. And I mean, he's been doing this since day one. I think Dirt was young when Howie was, sorry Howie. Anyway, I guessed properly on, correctly on something that he did last year. And so as a gift, he sent these to me, and it's from Alacrity. I think that's how you would say that name, Alacrity. And it came as he sent 2. And these are a fabric, but it has a beeswax on top of it. Isn't that cool? And the pattern is there's bears on it. Oh my God, this is the first time I think I've seen this. And so it's been nicely preserved. You know, I had it in a little wrapper, and I kept saying, I'm going to use these. And when they first came, I used it once, and I thought, oh yeah, okay, fine. But I thought, you know, if you, even if you just wanted to do something like, you know, keep your coffee hot. You know, you've made your coffee and you've heated one for your husband, you know, because he's a baby and he's being taken care of. You could do something like that, and it would stay. And what happens is, because it's got wax on it, if you put something over it, if you put it over something, and then you put your hand over it, like say you were keeping something, and you want to put your hand over it. I'm not going to do this quite right, but the heat of your hand there, the heat of your hand gets it to form and keeps this, whatever you have here, fresh. I mean, obviously I have nothing, but, and then once you take it off, all you have to do, they say you can just wipe it. I didn't feel quite right about that, so I just took some, I have Dawn foam, and I just put some Dawn foam in my hands, and I did, you know, I cleaned it that way, and rinsed it well, and then just set it up in my dish, you know, drain board, and let it dry that way. And I thought, well, I think that keeps it very well. I had somebody else tell me that they use it for cheese, that when they buy a block, if they have bigger ones, and when they buy a block of cheese, they put the cheese in there once they've cut it and fold it over, and then just, you know, turn it on itself, and that their cheese stays really fresh. Huh, you know, who knew? I think the idea of exchanging ideas is so important here. We don't need to be any kind of channels where we talk each other down. Let's you know, we all rise. When we all rise, it brings the level of water up, as they say. One other little last minute, I promise. I've been I used to have a big peanut butter sandwich every lunchtime. Peanut butter is just absolutely my passion. So I've been trying to give that up and lose a little weight, and it has helped. And so bread, I would buy the little Sara Lee 45 calories, thinking, oh yeah, that's great. That's only 90 calories for two. And then my peanut butter was the real killer, because I had to keep tasting the peanut butter, you know, to make sure it was good day after day before I put it on the sandwich. And but I saw somebody say this, that and I noticed that it's been like 12 weeks since I gave up peanut butter, and this loaf has been sitting there, and it says best sell by July 13th. Now, that was 3 months ago, because this was bought before July 13th, and today's the 6th of October. There's no mold in it. I think that's kind of frightening. I'm thinking, what kind of preservatives are in this? And I can't read that, sorry, but I can't even see where's my ingredients? Oh yeah, oh sorry. Whole wheat flour, water, enriched wheat flour, malted barley. I'm sure down at the bottom, oh yes, there's all sorts of things I can't pronounce. Monocalcium, phosphate, citric acid. I can't make out quite what the others are. Sweetener, something, fiber. What are we feeding ourselves? Stuff that doesn't go bad. I don't know. I don't feel too confident in that. Anyway, had a heck of a week, didn't I? I hope everybody has a great day. I hope you guys will pray for the people who already got hit with Hurricane Helene. We were very lucky the last time. It skirted to the north of us. We got rain, we got wind, we lost some small little branches. That was about it. But I think this one is showing that the cone is like, you know, up here's Tallahassee, North Florida, and down here is Miami and Fort Myers, you know, the Keys, the whole distance of Florida. It looks like it's going to get knocked out. So not sure what we're going to do yet. We have a few hours to decide which way we're going to go. So say a prayer for us, please. And I hope to see you guys next week, if I'm not blown away. And remember, garden what you've got. Take care. Bye-bye.